We do a lot of work on helping define investment projects, formulate the projects, even implement the projects, and assisting also the public sector, public investment projects, but also we're increasingly working on private sector projects, given the importance of private sector finance for agriculture.
We started working on what's called the 380I Initiative, African Agribusiness and Agro-Industries Development Initiative, in 2010 as a result of a high-level conference pushing that the partners, FAO, UNIDO, African Development Bank, and IFAD, work to facilitate private sector investment in agriculture, and much of that actually coming in through the agribusiness side and flowing throughout the whole value chain.
By the way, much of this work also, interestingly, is starting from the private sector, but directed towards changing policies or the legal framework in ways that's going to encourage more investment in the future. For instance, the introduction of financing mechanisms, or the possibility to use grain warehouse receipts or other financial instruments that are going to create bigger markets for agricultural finance and better opportunities for investors to access those funds and to invest.
And also, through our capacity building, help each other to learn how to work together better, learn what is really needed, because private sector typically has not worked with some of the community organizations and that kind of thing. And community organizations as well often are very afraid of working with the private sector and don't know how to engage. And so the dialogue is coming at it from a scenario of fear, and that's where we can help bridge that and have a mutual partnership.
I think in terms of opportunities, there's definitely the overall perception of growth of the agricultural sector and the high level numbers that are out there around population increase, demand for food productivity, and everybody is convinced that agriculture is a sector that needs to grow for the coming 10 years. So in that sense, it's a very attractive topic for investors to be talking about.
Now we can see that even FAO statistics show that most investments comes actually from farmers themselves, which ends up being the private sector. So clearly, in order to resolve the issues, increase production, do it so sustainably, improve food security, reduce poverty, we need to encourage more private investment, and the investment center should be a part of that. And we are doing that alone, but also with some of our partners.
In terms of challenges, there is the very high perceived risk of agriculture, which is an issue that keeps coming back. It's not just risk, it's also the cost of serving agricultural clients. How do you reach out to them? Because they are often located in very rural and remote areas. How do you manage risks of serving them in an efficient way while still generating an attractive return?
Within this initiative, then we worked on a private sector investment fund as well as a technical assistance facility. And the facility is meant to work with investment funds and investment groups so they have an enabling environment, have the pieces in place so they would want to invest, could invest, addressing some of the risk and some of the challenges. Also, our focus on reaching food security and reducing rural poverty is to help guide and encourage the investment to be more comprehensive of smallholders. How can they link in, take advantage of private sector investment that's coming? How can the businesses work with producer organizations? And also, how can we reach harder to reach areas?
There are a lot of funds acting in several areas, and I think it's important that, for example, in cooperation between FAO, UNIDO, funds, but also international and regional development banks, this assistance, which is provided by a big group of individual organizations, are somehow harmonized and channeled in order to have the best and most important and biggest impact.
I think what we have proven in the past is that it can work, but with the appropriate support through some technical assistance programs, they can be very helpful in addressing those concerns.